Thank you. Thank you.
Libby Hayes.
Yes, ma'am. My family has been in Amarillo since the early 1890s, my ancestors. I'll try to talk as loud as I can.
Okay.
I came up, I started here at San Jacinto, went to Bivens, Austin, and then was in the first class to go all the way through Tascosa. I'm essentially here for the swim program. We have had some very strong swimmers come from Amarillo. We've had at least one, maybe more, I'm not sure right now, that were Olympic qualifiers. In my family alone, all three of my children were offered swimming scholarships to universities. My middle one decided that he's tired of smelling like a Clorox bottle, so he decided he was tired of it. There are answers to the cost. For example, at this point, since UIL decided none of our pools were qualified for major swim meets, the city of Lubbock has built a beautiful aquatic center. They now have all of the major meets. They have many kids and parents come in, stay in hotels, pay for the swimming events, pay for the drinks and whatever concessions at the meet, shirts, blankets, whatever's for sale. They make money hand over fist, especially in the last few years when the district and regions were changed for swimming. We have kids for our district coming from as far away as Plano for the Amarillo district. This brings in loads of money and helps pay tremendous amounts for the supporting places such as pools, shops. South Plains Mall just says, another swim meet? We don't have to, we could cash in on that. We used to be the ones who had all of the district, or at least a lot of the district. In fact, I think we switched back and forth. 1 year Lubbock, 1 year Amarillo. Now Lubbock gets those and all the money. They get the district, they get the regionals, they get all the non-public school meets that are being held and all the money from those. Swimming would be good for all of us. It's the safest sport you can do at any age and it's supposed to be the most healthy. I don't go swimming as much as I love it here in Amarillo because there's no place near me. I'd just like to say that, let's look at this from the point of view of what these so-called extra things can bring into us.
Just real quickly, why these meetings are being held. I mentioned that we heard it the first evening, and we're still moving forward with that assessment. So appreciate your comments, and we're going to continue to do that assessment. Again, we don't have the answers because we're still working on it. But we're
still getting the money.
And even if we started today, they'll get it for some time. The question is, if we jump to that, there's some people here that would say the books were cooked. So we're going to go through a thoughtful process and come back with information and make sure that everybody gets a chance to participate in the discussion. Because just as many folks that want to see it, we want to make sure that it makes sense. That's all.
There's dollars and cents.
Well, yeah, thank you very much.
Ed Drayton.
Thank you, ma'am. I have a couple of questions, or really a question and a comment with respect to the demographics and the amount of expendable income from this area and its surrounding areas versus the Sugar Land area, which is basically a lot higher income. should have a lot higher expendable income. And also Waco, because there's a greater population even in the surrounding area. The other thing that concerns me is that our federal government is presently $14 trillion in debt. The bond rating has been dropped from neutral to negative. We have California, New Jersey, New York, Illinois. All of those states are in dire straits from the standpoint of income. Texas was having their share of problems on balancing a budget. What is going to happen? Because we're going to have to meet some budgets. If the interest rate raises, if taxes increase, both of those will be a negative for expanding of business. Also, from the possibly cutting back on the expendable income. What is going to happen if this gets started and then say there's a 10% drop in the projected number of people that will be using it?
You asked a couple of questions about demographics. I don't disagree with you. The difference in demographics. That's why you heard me say earlier, this isn't Sugar Land. It's not Fort Worth. The projects have to make sense for this community. So nothing that you'll hear me say in this discussion says we're going to go build a 7,000 seat stadium. There's a reason why it's 7,000 fixed seats with a total of 10. Why it could fit for AAA, because their business base, their population base, everything works differently there. Similarly in Waco, the things that are designed for Waco are designed for Waco. What we're talking about in the process we're going through is to take a look at the demographics in this community and the surrounding area. You still are a regional hub. You draw in, people come to this area for a number of reasons. And they're going to continue to come to this reason for a number of reasons. As you look at the economy, as you look at things, that's something that's ever present on all our minds. Does that mean that we should stop today and quit and do nothing until we figure it's all over? No. We still have to go forward and make decisions. We still have to come forward and assess it and let the market kind of tell us on some of the interest rates where they see things are going, because those are some of the predictors. We're still going to factor that risk element into it and look at what your cushions need to be. That's some of the information that needs to come back as a part of the recommendations. Do I have all those answers today? Again, no, I don't. Is that some of the stuff we're working at? Yes. Do I suggest, would I recommend that you stop now and wait till you find out if you're going to have another president next year? No. I don't think that you do that. For the part of the reason is that it takes, once you start a process like this, you're going to be in design for 15, 18 months, and construction, almost 2 years total. And so there's a lot that's going to happen in that time frame. Also, experience has the catastrophic events that have occurred. When we looked at September 11th, there's a lot of things that people get concerned about. We were certainly concerned in Sugar Land, even with the market. And why? Because we couldn't attract a full-service hotel because nobody believed in our market either. But we went through market studies and we made our decisions based on sound business. And we also looked at the risk factors. So we're proposing the same process here. I don't know if that answers your question, but that's the only answer I got.
Just briefly, I just wanted to add to that, the city of Amarillo has been run quite well. We have the third lowest tax rate in the state. For about $360 a year on average, $30 a month, you get police, fire, roads, libraries, all of the city services, fire. That's a bargain. And I'm guessing most of you spend more than that every month on your cell phone alone. So the city here has been run really well. We have a AAA bond rating, very, very low debt. Construction costs are very low. So I think what we're trying to do is look at the opportunities that are there. Fortunately, the city of Amarillo isn't the federal government. We don't have trillions in debt because the city's been run very well.
As you recall, that's one of the things I mentioned what attracted us here. The city has been run very well. You have good leadership, good elected leadership. You have good appointed leadership with your city manager and his staff.
Dolores Belcher.
I'm Dolores, and I'm rather known by people who know me as being very assertive very argumentative with people, but I can be very nice too. I was born here in Amarillo, so I know about Amarillo in 1928. So I know about Amarillo from way back. Let me say something to this fellow over here. It is not true that all the Y pools are closed at this time. Only one is closed. The others are open because I go 3 times a week for water exercise, okay? The one that's closed right now, we're just simply driving across to North Heights and going over there. And when the one is they finish redoing whatever they're doing, one out on Carolina, which is right down here, we'll come back out here. My question is, I have read that the swimming pool, they're considering Elwood Park for maybe this location of that swimming pool. I want to downsize that because I can name for you 6 big buildings that are full of senior citizens like myself in that area, and a 7th is well underway. And I think they've got other projects in the mill along somewhere for more senior citizens. And we use that park, and if you start using it for a swimming pool and the parking and the different kinds of people, the unsafe people that we have in that area, then we are in more danger than we are. Do you realize that when we go across the street to our clubhouse, we link arms so that at night if we come across them, so that we'll be less likely to be attacked by somebody? So we don't want the swimming pool in Elwood Park. Somewhere else, all right? You see, I taught school. I didn't like it. I went back, got my degree in nursing, and I love that. So if you need help with that way, I can help you. But I agree with these people. We have to tend to the needs of senior people. And I moved in almost 2 years ago into Clemens. And I know that we need to have, I don't know whether you've thought about it, we need to have doctor's offices, we need to have health services, we need to have pharmacies downtown. We need to have specialized shops for seniors. We have buses available to us from our buildings that will take us downtown rather than the Walmart all the time. Okay? So think about that when you start planning what's downtown. We seniors need help. Okay? And I lived 35 years on South Monroe. The biggest thing that helped that area would be the city could send some of that money that's going for the Civic Center into helping these people replace their fences, cutting down huge old trees and out of big old limbs. Those 2 things right there would do more to help that residential area around downtown area than anything else. I lived in that area 35 years, I know.
Thank you for your comments. I did want to, we just spoke to
Right under the bill.
spoke to 2 groups at Park Central today, and that's such an amazing facility and a wonderful asset to have downtown. I agree with your sentiment on Elwood Park. The City Commission has said that they do not believe the pool should go in Elwood Park. That is the first park. That's the first park in our city, and it's a beautiful park. And I've only been here 2 years, but it has struck me, the park system here and how wonderful it is. And that is a public-private partnership. The $500,000 was spent for the senior park there, $250,000 raised privately and $250,000 from the public side. So I think we should preserve that park. It's